Sarah is the Director of Post Production and Technical Operations, and thrilled to have her here. So thank you for joining us, Sarah.
Hi. So if you're not familiar with Vox, we are a media company that primarily produces digital video, but we're also now moving into the OTT and into the broadcast space. Myself and my team run the operations for Vox. We are the central resource and technology group that services all of these brands that you see here. This is our workflow before Cloudian. We have a lot of video content coming in from multiple sources, landing on our SAN. That's where we have all of our active content, all of our active projects. Once that project becomes no longer active, we then move it off onto our archive storage system. We used to have an LTO, and unfortunately, that LTO did not talk to our SAN. So we would have to move things onto our NAS system, which was our older system, and then onto the LTO. There was a lot of manual process with that. There was a lot of pain points, a lot of points of failure, as you can imagine. And on top of that, there were only 2 media managers serving 150 to 200 content creators. So it was incredibly slow, and it was not sustainable. This is a graph of our growth of content over time from 2015 until right before we put our Cloudian system in. Those red dots on the bottom, those are how much stuff we could archive. That was how fast we could archive. So we were filling up our SAN at a rate that was quite dangerous, honestly, and it was not allowing us to scale in the way that was appropriate for how we were growing. On top of that, we wouldn't be able to integrate an LTO into an asset management system, right? So we're about to implement our asset management system of Dolphin, and in order to do that, we need to have searchable databases like an object storage. Tape is not searchable, and so you're essentially losing all of that really important, powerful system that really tape can't provide for you. It was also incredibly manual. Our media managers had to go to a different floor to get a tape, come back down, put that tape in the tape loader, and then kick off the workflow. We were at an SVG event, and I saw that Cloudian had a booth, and they were raffling off a drone. And I said to myself, I want to win that drone. So I went up and put my card into the pile. And I really, I was more interested in the swag, to be honest. But then I started to get the spiel, and I was like, this is actually a really interesting solution. There's a lot of flexibility. There's a lot that's easily scalable, and it's fast. And it had proven integration with our asset management system of Dolphin. So for us, it was really kind of a no-brainer once we started to really look into it. It was a pretty awesome and elegant solution. So this is our new workflow. We have removed a step, which is great, but more importantly, we've taken some of that human element out of the system. So now we have the ability to get things pretty easily and fast from our Cloudian onto the SAN. So this is sort of my dream board, right? This is where I want to be going in the future. After we have a Dolphin in, after we have it integrated into the SAN, into the Cloudian, we'll be able to search based on the metadata on the ingest form that is leveraging all that metadata. And then eventually, I want to move into a space where we have multiple Cloudians in different sites that are automatically syncing content to each other, so that we don't have to think about that. We're just putting content into Cloudian, and it's sending things automatically to our different sites, to our different offices. Then eventually, once the project hasn't been touched in a very long time, we can send it to cold storage. And Cloudian has the ability to do that pretty easily. They can send to a cold storage system and call it back. So our process wins really is that we have much less manual process, and it allows our content creators to leverage the system on their own, right? They're able to search, they're able to look at proxies, and they're able to recall data by themselves without having to go to our media managers and ask them to do it for them. So really, it ends up being a much faster, much easier process. And yeah, that's our story.